All right, we are on lesson 3 of learning how to play the recorder. So if you went back to the lessons that we did before, the first lesson we learned a note that was called B, okay? And if you're to hold it up, you would take your left hand and you would take there's a hole on the bottom of your recorder. We talked about that in the last lesson. And you have to cover your thumb over this hole, and then you put your pointy finger on your left hand over the top hole right here, okay? And then when you blow in, you can blow in and play the note called B. We learned that. So if you have your recorder with you and you would like to play along, your note should sound just like this one. Now, one thing we have to also do is to make sure we don't have any of the other holes covered. Like if we're holding up the recorder and we have our other hand around, sometimes it'd be easier to just stick our hand on top of it, and we may cover the holes by accident. And you want to be careful not to do that because you're going to play a different note than B if you do that, okay? And one other thing too I wanted to show you about the recorder. You can take your recorder apart, okay? Your recorder should have come with a little cloth and a little thing to stick the cloth through, and you can clean your recorder out, okay? Because when you blow into it, what happens is you get saliva inside of your recorder and it could build up. So you may want to clean it out, or have your parents clean it out so that it doesn't get a saliva buildup in it, okay? So we played this note, and if you have your recorder, you can play along with me and see if your note sounds the same, okay? And the note is called B. We learned a new note also. We learned the note A, which is when you cover up your thumb and you cover up this finger on the top, but you take this finger and cover up this hole right here. So you've got two holes right here, the top two, on the top of your recorder covered, and then you have the one underneath. Okay, and that note is A. And so we learned how to play the B, and then we learned how to play the A. And we're going to learn a new note today. This new note is going to be called G. Okay, now hopefully your fingers are long enough to stretch, and it's going to be another finger on your left hand. It's going to be this one right here, the one that you would put your ring on if you're married. It's called your ring finger. And you're going to cover up the third hole down. You're going to play it just like you would the B and the A, but you're going to cover up the third hole as well, and also cover up the hole on the bottom of the recorder. Okay? And so this note is going to sound like, and that is called a G. Now if you wanted to play the notes one right after another, it would sound like this. And if you've ever heard that before, if you've ever taken music lessons, that sounds like the beginning of Hot Cross Buns, doesn't it? So if you learn those notes, and if you learn to play them well, you can play Hot Cross Buns on them too. You can get a little recorder book. They sell a lot of little beginning recorder books on Amazon.com, and it would show you the same things that I'm showing you, and you'll be able to look at pictures of the notes on them as well. And they probably have the different fingering, the different positions for your fingers for the different notes. They should have pictures in there in the recorder books if you ever get one. One of the things too that you need to know about is there's two different kinds of recorders. One of them I believe is called a German fingering, and the other one is called Baroque. So I am not sure which one is which, but they have different fingering in some of the notes, so you may want to take notice of that as well. I am going to show you what the notes look like that we studied already. Okay, we studied the notes already. B, which is the one that is right here. And then this one's an A, And then this new one is a G, and this is what they look like when they're on the lines of a staff, okay? Remember we learned the lines of the staff? This is, the bottom one is E. The bottom line is called E. This line is called G. And this one is called B. This one we'll learn about later on. This one's called a D. And this one is an F, okay? But for right now, we're just going to learn about these three notes so that if you look at a piece of music and it's got these notes on it, you'll know how to read them. So anyway, we're learning about the G today, and let me see if I can get a bigger picture of, I can zoom in on this one probably by putting it in front of you, maybe. This is the G. Well, it's not working out very well here. Okay, you see it on the staff, and it will probably be black like that. And that's what the G note looks like. And that's the note that we're studying today. All right, and one other thing about playing the recorder that you will want to keep in mind, and keep this in mind whenever you play the recorder. Whether you're playing it in a concert or whether you're just playing it at home for fun or practice, you need to remember you don't have to blow in your recorder very hard, okay? The harder you blow is not going to make a better note. The harder you blow will probably hurt people's ears and make the music sound ugly. So, unless you have a reason to blow really hard, I would recommend not blowing really hard, okay? So let's play the three notes that we know. Now let's go back up the scale, okay? Go back down. Go back up. Okay, and then your fingers will get used to going up and down the scales, and at some point we're going to learn more notes, and then you can add more music to make your music sound, have more variety and sound pretty. And if you had two recorders playing together, it would be very nice, because then what you could do is have, you could have the melody and you could have the harmony, and it would sound really pretty, kind of like you're in a concert. So let's just practice one more time, and then I want you to practice at home, and then we'll come on to the next note in the next lesson. So the note for today is G. Practice that, and I will see you at the next lesson, hopefully all practiced up.